If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Hello, Last on the Road subscribers and followers. What is the definition of homeless? Just the other day, someone said they didn't understand why I was making a video about homeless people when I am in fact myself homeless. The government defines homeless as anybody who does not live at their permanent address. Now I say government, this is some governments, not all governments. So, being a nomad, living in my homemade truck camper, I am by definition of these governments homeless. There are actually, in my opinion, several definitions. In my opinion, I am not homeless. We always had the ability to do whatever it is we need to do. If we choose not to live this way anymore, we could tomorrow or today, right now, go and rent an apartment. We have enough money to go rent an apartment, a furnished apartment, and be able to live and sustain that apartment for a few months until we could get employment to support the new apartment. We'd be able to put food into it, get electric and telephone and internet, and be able to sustain that for a few months. So in my mind, as long as I have the ability to do that, I am not homeless. When the camper burned down, back in April, the camper burned down. We came back from town, pulled in, had to put out the fire, the remnants of the fire. I don't know, it took us a couple hours to get all that settled down. Carolyn and I got back in the truck, and we were going to go to town. We were going to rent a hotel. There again, we were going to go rent a hotel, which means we had the means to go rent a hotel. So I asked Carolyn, are we homeless? Do you consider us homeless now? She said no, because we have the money and the means to go and rectify our situation. And we did. We were able to rectify it quite quickly. Now, that being said, we decided that we weren't going to spend the money on a hotel because we were going to be able to be relatively comfortable sleeping in the cab of the truck for a few days until we could get back on our feet. It's called an emergency fund. And as long as you have an emergency fund, you should be able to do whatever it is you need to do so you're not considered homeless. If you have to rely on people to help you, charities. I'm talking about this YouTuber who's going to start up a charity for folks to come out here and live, and if they run into trouble, they can push a button on their phone, an app, and someone will come out and rescue you, and then you can take money from this charity to fix your problem. Now, I was criticized for that because a lot of people felt like that they didn't have the ability, they ran into some tragic event in their life and they didn't have the ability to get back on their feet because of XYZ. They have to rely on this charity to help them out. Well, okay, let's talk about that for a second. When our camper burned down, we did not ask for one dime. Not one. As a matter of fact, I made a video. People wanted me to give them a physical address so they could send us things. And I made a video where I specifically said I'm not going to give out a address so you could send me charity goods. I wasn't going to accept it. I appreciated it, but I wasn't going to take it. What I did say was I would like to earn your money. If you would like to give me money, I would be happy to earn it. What I said is if you want to support me like you always have, watch my videos on YouTube, or you can contribute to Patreon and I'll give you more content. All my life, I was always told that if you want to do a thing, whatever that thing is, whatever your dream is, whatever you want to go out and buy something, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you have to have the ability to do it. It is your responsibility to take care of yourself. And I've always lived by that motto. So when the camper burned down, I took it on myself to go and build a homemade truck camper. Now, a lot of people said, that's not fair because I don't have the ability to build a homemade truck camper. I understand that not everybody has the ability to build a homemade truck camper. I get it. And in that case, if you don't have that ability, then you have to have a higher emergency fund. I hear a lot of people throwing out numbers of an emergency fund. I've heard some people say, well, you need $2,000. I've heard other people say you need $3,000. Here's what I'm going to say. What is it going to take if you lose everything? What is it going to take to get yourself back on the feet so you don't have to ask for help? That is the amount of money you need for an emergency. Let's talk about coming out here. People say that they come out here because it's cheap living. And I just made a video the other day where I talked about people coming out here and they're not having the equipment that they need, or they're not used to the environment. They don't have the money to get in a cooler environment. They can't run an air conditioner, all kinds of different things. So the question becomes, are you homeless or are you wanting to live out here? And if you don't have the ability to take care of yourself and to make yourself comfortable, comfort is defined by the individual. Your comfort level may be lower or higher than mine. I don't like the cold. I hate the cold, so I'm going to do whatever I can to stay away from it. Others don't mind the cold. Comfort is defined by the individual, not by, society. So you have to have the ability to make yourself comfortable. This lifestyle isn't something that you just jump out here and you do because you're running low on money. No, has to be something that you absolutely want to do, and you're willing to give up some things in exchange for other things, but as long as you're comfortable. But if you're asking people, what am I going to do because I'm not comfortable in this temperature? I'm not comfortable having to sleep in a Walmart parking lot. I'm not comfortable out here all by myself. That is the definition, in my opinion, that you may be homeless if you cannot figure out how to make yourself comfortable. Another definition is, do you call yourself homeless? And that's a big one, because I've heard 3 different people that I've met out here who said, I am homeless. And I met a lot online too. And so if you're stating that you're homeless, then obviously that makes you homeless. Living in your car is not home unless you can support your home. And that's no different than if you were in your stick and brick. Living in a house is not a house unless you can support that house. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like video.